Alright, today I got a couple of pieces of mail, nothing super outstanding, but something for my collection. And I wanted to mention that I didn't really want to mention anything, but anyway, we'll just get into it here. So I got two photographs. One was kind of unusual in size. Did not know what was going on there. First time I've seen that before. And then we'll just get into it here, and if I have anything else to say at the end of the video. So I picked this up, and again, this is the one I think that might have been offered to me for $3. A very older looking guy here, and this is Gene Krupa, or Krupa, but I think it's Krupa. Reminisces about his musical career on the third segment of Vibrations, the new public broadcasting service performance and interview series. And this was Wednesday, 9 p.m., Channel 57. And it says 3/1/72, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And there is the PBS logo there. And a year later, in 73, he would have been passed away in 73. Isn't that something? I didn't read exactly what happened. I think he was 62 maybe, but he looks every bit of 62 in here. It looks way older than that. The cigarette in hand is kind of a vintage touch, I guess, to this time period there. And then featured on the program are celebrated Russian cellist Rostropovich and Mickey Grant, a composer and performer of social protest songs. So these are a lot of protest and hippie things. I want to say counterculture musicians or people who are just kind of different. And then there's no exception to the next photograph. And I'll show you, the next photograph features a musician that was on the session. And the session was, people, there's REO Speedwagon on the session doing Anti-Establishment. And then Billy Joel was on the session. And then we've got Gypsy Woman by REO Speedwagon, a few other things by them on the session. So mostly they're REO Speedwagon that's got posted up there. Interesting there. But anyway, this photograph is only a fraction of the size of the other one I got. These more or less go with the other photographs I had kind of purchased before. And we'll just go back here. And then I'll show you this one here. And I thought maybe this was a cut photograph. And it could be. But I can see remnants of an old paper clip on there. And the edges are pretty crisp there. And interestingly enough, you won't know from the sizing here that it's only barely even half the size of this one. I did not realize that. Interesting little print mark right there is the same print mark as this one right here. I don't know if the machine did that or what have you. Very, very tiny sized one, but I think this is a standalone because the PBS logo is much smaller. And then this was a singer, guitarist, comic, Gary Grossman. Is it Jerry or Gary? Gerry. Grossman performs on the session Tuesday, 9:30 on Channel 57 on PBS. So they're all from Channel 57. It's nice to have the whole set of them there because I did not realize. I said, oh, let me just get this one, and missed out on, or doesn't miss out, but I didn't see these. Sometimes when YouTube suggests things or whatever, and again, one of these was not listed as PBS. I think it was this small one. I'm not really sure. But yeah, very, very, like 72. Very, very 70s. They had crossed out 7/28/73, so maybe it was not broadcast on that day. Maybe it was preempted or something like that. I don't know. They might have had a news event. Again, 72 was right in the Vietnam era, so interesting stuff there. And there's nothing on the back there, no historic images, stickers to fool me into them. And I'm surprised that this got here in good condition because it came in one of these first-class ones, but it had, one of those cheap bailers inside of there from the post office that basically was cut in half or something like that, and it didn't add that much to the care of it. But it got here from point A to point B in mint condition, all the way from more or less the East Coast. I don't remember exactly where it was sold from. Oh, we do have one autograph request that came in today, which I totally forgot about. I haven't even opened it yet. They decided that they didn't want to get all my stamps there, but they got the penny stamps down here. And See if I can open this without ripping it. I sent one autograph request out today. The guy's 92, and I said, yeah, get that out. 92 or 93. I don't know why I didn't get it out, but I couldn't really find a good address for that. But this is for my, I want to say my cloud PC, but we have Woody Woodward. So there's Woody Woodward, and it just clouds only on the vintage. It looks probably from your vantage point, it looks probably just, like a blue sky, but there are some sort of cloud formations back here. Whether that was done on purpose or they've added that to the background, I don't know. But there's absolutely nothing in the background, not even one, corner of a building. So Woody Woodward, shortstop for the Braves. And then we also have one more card here. I'm kind of doing the 69 tops. This is card number 142, and I want to say that I ordered these off of eBay because I didn't have them. Or at least I didn't think I had them. And again, shortstop for the Reds this time, Woody Woodward. And so pretty much more or less the same signature here. A little bit different there. This one's a little smaller, I think, but still very cool to have that in blue. Sharpie backs of the cards there. Nothing major about these. These are just, VGEX cards with no major flaws in it. They are probably about $1 a piece plus shipping or something like that. Try to find, and I don't remember if I got them at 2 different sellers or not. And what else do I have going on here? It's just kind of going to be a long week here, so I'm not going to really go through a lot of things about that. But the weather is just fine. And you're pruning the fruit trees. There's only 5 of them, and I may have mentioned in a previous video, it is a lot of work standing on darn near the top of the ladder. I don't have one of those large ladders, just a regular step ladder from the 80s, and that really doesn't cut it, and I've lost my main clippers, and unless I want to spend $40+, I don't know what to do. I've got these other ones at a garage sale for $3, and I was very happy. And none of the secondhand stores seem to have any, because everybody probably needs them right now. I haven't seen any. They're all devoid of any kind of clippers. They do have the saws, but the last thing I need is those saws, and also they skip and jump, and they're very easy to slice your fingers. I've damaged my fingers on one of those saws and got rid of it right away. In fact, my saw kicked back. It's just a hand saw, but it kicked. I threw it on the ground. It kicked back and got me on the hand there, and got a couple of nicks there, which are not important. But it was just, be careful when you're doing stuff like that. Don't fall off ladders and that kind of fun stuff there. This is where before REO Speedwagon got a little ridiculous. But anyway, so what else do we have here? Not much else. I do have one insane package that I bought. Now the vinyl record collectors, the very few of them that do watch this channel, may be in for disgust or a treat. I basically bought a mystery box of vinyl records, but there was a reason for it. I had kind of wanted these for a while, and my friend wanted some of them and didn't have access to them, and a guy put them up on his website in lots of different varying amounts between 20 and 150. So some of those will be arriving in the next week, and I'll hopefully have a video dedicated to that and do kind of the documentation and history of that. And it's not something I needed, and in fact I can't remember which video it was, but people said there's a lot of people that confuse need with want and must-haves. I must have this for my collection. I need this for my collection. But if you got rid of the collection, you wouldn't must have or need it for your collection. If I have not started these PBS photographs, but it's a challenge for me because I see a price point that everybody sets their items to, and it's a challenge for me to find photographs like this, for $3 or $4. And it's a challenge for me to figure out, I believe Jerry Grossman is still alive. It's really hard to tell what he's doing. There's a guy that does seminars. I don't think he's the same guy, but we'll have to do some homework on that one. And again, it was really interesting to find out that a year later, from this documentary or whatever, this guy passed away. Really interesting. But I've heard of Gene Krupa, a famous jazz drummer from the 50s or whatever, born in 1909. So that would put him like 119 years old or something if he was still alive, or maybe even more than that. I don't know, a lot. But anyway, that's really interesting there. That's what all I have. Again, getting the organizing done, going through some cards here. I'll finish off with this because I know I said I was done with card content, but it was just kind of not really. Anyway, there's a bunch of these here, these blue cards here. And these blue cards are from 1989 Pro cards. And if you didn't know, there's two sets. There's the team sets, and there's basically the base sets. And the team sets and the base sets, they have the exact same card front, but the team sets, I think, are the ones with the tinier, lesser color in the blue. One of them are, again, I'm confusing which ones are which, but the stats are different on the backs of them. And the printing is different. So this is a grayer, and this is a whiter, and this is a fatter font, a larger, a more pronounced font. So this is bold, and this is just normal. And so again, and this unless the seller tells you which one you're getting, they have the exact same number. So this is number 591, and this is 591. So you can be on your way to building a set and then not realize that out of 2,000 plus cards are in that set, you got half and half, and some people will not care, some people will care, and then for those people who want to get both examples, that's crazy, because then you would need both of the Las Vegas Stars card with the guy having the ball thrown in an interesting spot. And you need to get two of those, and finding the one version might be harder than the other. And again, who needs a binder or 10 binders with 2,000 plus cards in it? I would not know how, even if I put one of these together with consecutive numbers, how much that would be. These cards were a team set, more or less what I had. And then these are in my binder here. I separated them because my minor league binder is getting huge. I have another 20-something minor league cards on the way here, mostly minor league cards. Most of the ones that I have are blue, but there's red and orange, and I think there's other varying colors of those. I don't know that there's any green ones there, but really interesting. And again, I have the highest number card I have is, I don't know, 1,500 or so, and then some of the lower numbers, which I have, the Las Vegas Stars. That's the one that starts. I don't have that famous card from the Las Vegas Stars there. And the first two pages are almost all exclusively autographed. All of those are autographed, and all of those are autographed. Some of those I won via auction, but most of those are ones that I had people sign for me. And one of these cards went out today, not this particular player, but a 93-year-old guy just went out today. And hopefully he didn't see any successes in 4 years or so, but maybe just people just don't write to him because they don't think about it. But he's a Canadian Hall of Famer, if that gives you any clues of who that will be. And that's pretty much what I have. Back to work, I guess, and thank you for watching.